Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Earlier, we teased about a perfect protein that you don't have to cook. That protein is actually pistachio. We're supposed to do an interview about it, but due to some technical difficulties, we are not able to bring you that. So we asked DJ and Beth back to continue our racial injustice discussion. And guys, both Tiff and I agree, and we heard from our boss, this conversation is long overdue, also very important, but you're both so well-spoken and fair about this. And I appreciate you being bright lights and being so fair and balanced about it too.
Thank you, and thanks for having us. I agree with you. This is an important conversation and probably long overdue.
So yeah, Beth, let's start with you, because what we want to do with the extra time that we have is make sure we give you each a chance to answer some of the questions that we didn't have time for before. So with you, Beth, can you kind of start with sharing maybe a story of unity that you've experienced in your own life?
There are lots of stories. I guess maybe I'm experiencing a lot of unity in the current moment. Everything from my white friends and colleagues just texting, calling, reaching out to me and my family just to say that they're thinking of us. That's never happened before. I so appreciate it. So that's unity on the micro level, which is really important. And then I see that growing into unity on bigger levels in our city and across the country. So again, I live in a predominantly white community. A couple of days ago, there was a peaceful protest in our town where my daughter and I went. We were maybe one of only a few African Americans. Everyone else were our white neighbors, all taking a knee in silence to show the unity. And so that was just overwhelming. So there's a ton of examples of unity that I have in my personal life that I'm seeing that are truly touching.
I'm so glad to hear that, Beth. DJ, I asked Beth this earlier, something that we can all do to heal and also spark change. She talked about what we can do in the workplace. What ideas do you have, things that we can all do to help the healing?
Yeah, I think the first thing we can do as a city, as a community of people, is have a genuine sense of empathy and understanding. Because sometimes empathy and consideration can be prompted by events. And we want empathy to start with the heart. Because when you have a true heart and you for people who are dealing with racial injustice, when you have a heart for those people, then your heart will prompt you to do things to help the situation. So I think that we need a genuine sense of empathy. And then secondly, I think we have to do what we can. Everyone does not have access to the same resources. Everyone is not a person who's in a place of power and position to make changes at a high level. But some people are. So if you're in position to make change, then use your voice, use your influence to help make change. But everyone has to use what they have. I think it's phenomenal that people are taking to the streets and protesting and using their rights, to cry out for the community and to cry out for Black people to say, hey, this has to stop. So that's the biggest thing, I think, is everyone has to find what is it that I have that I can do. I have a good friend who has a podcast with thousands of listeners. He's using his platform to help spread the message. If you have a blog, use your blog to help spread the message. Whatever it is that you have that you can use to help bring healing to this situation, that's what you should do. And don't stress out about what you can't do, but definitely put emphasis on what you can do.
Yeah, as they say, now is not the time to be silent. So I think that's very important. Beth, what do you want to leave people with knowing? What's something that you would just, on your heart, want people to know?
I think at the start of the pandemic, we heard a lot of phrases like stronger together. And it sounds so cliche, but I think that we can feel now that that is in fact true. And I think that it's just been a crazy confluence of events that have happened between the pandemic and unemployment and now this social unrest that is really shining a spotlight on we don't do well when we're divided as a nation. And I feel like the tide is maybe turning in terms of enough of the division. Let's find where we can unify, because we are in fact stronger together. So I think, you know, my takeaway is, don't let those words just be words. Let's really take them to heart and use those words to mean something to us.
And I hate to interrupt, you
lot
just ran out of time and have to go to break. Beth, thank you so much. And DJ, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Let's make change.